season election after the 2023 disputed general election. So tonight, we focus on Imo State. Our guest speaking with Declan Emelumba, Commissioner for Information and Strategy in Imo State. Thank you so much for joining us, sir.
Mr.
Emelumba, good evening to you. It's less than 5 days to the governorship election in Imo State, Bayelsa and Kogi State. How will you describe the tempo in Imo State ahead of the election? Mr. Declan, can you hear me?
Hello, I can hear you now, yes.
All right, thank you very much for joining us this evening. So it's less than 5 days to the governorship election in Imo State. How will you describe the tempo in the state ahead of the election?
I can hear you well, please. Hello?
All right, let me repeat my question. It's less than 5 days to the conduct of the governorship election in Imo State. So I'm asking, how will you describe the tempo in your state ahead of the election?
How is what, please?
Mr. Declan, can you hear me? Mr. Declan, I need to confirm if you can hear me.
I can hear you now, yes.
All right. Once again, thank you for joining us. So it's less than 5 days to the conduct of the governorship elections in Imo, Bayelsa, and Kogi State. So how will you describe the tempo in Imo State ahead of the election?
Well, excuse me, I think the tempo is okay. Where naturally, you know, on the run-up to election like this, but it's just about 5 days, like you said, naturally there will be a lot of activities going on, a lot of anxiety and so on. But I can tell you that in Imo State, the tempo is not out of normal. I mean, people are eager to come out on Saturday and vote. And people are still very enthusiastically endorsing the governor and giving him assurances of their support. So as far as we are concerned, the tempo is okay. It's nothing outside what you see on the run-up to an election like this.
So Governor Uzodimma is seeking a second term in office. How will you rate his chances in this election?
His chances are very, very bright, I must tell you, because if you use the people, the public, Imo public, who are supposed to cast their votes in this election, there is hardly any segment of the Imo public that has not endorsed him, from workers, civil servants, to students, to yet today it was even Okada or Inaga drivers, to local government workers, to the clergy, to everybody, practically everybody has come out to endorse him. So I think his chances are quite bright, very, very bright indeed.
All right. So tell me, what do you think this administration has achieved to deserve another term?
In terms of achievements, I'm sure I must tell you that truly, if I begin to reel it out, we might spend 1 week here, and I will not finish. But I can just summarize as fast and possible as I can. This administration has really excelled in terms of road infrastructure. We have it on record that we have very well-paved signature roads, like the Oluowere Road, which has been very, very bad for over 20 years. The government didn't only do it, but it dualized it, or Kigbo-Owere Road, the same thing, and Umuahia Road is getting the same treatment. Before now, the roads in the Owerri metropolis were terribly bad. Almost all the roads were unmotorable. But today, if you ask anybody in Owerri, he will tell you that at least a very good number of those roads have been fixed. We have the MCC Toronto Road, we have the Relief Market Road, we have the Tukumawaha Road, and so many, I can't count them. But I can tell you that this government has done at least 100 roads plus within these 3.5 years and more in office. Then in terms of youth empowerment, it is something that is unequaled. The government has, through the Skill Up Imo project, empowered more than 30,000 youths in digital skills and equipped them with the necessary startup kits and capital for them to start their business. The same thing in terms of other skill acquisition programs. More than 30,000 or other youths have also been empowered. So youth empowerment is a priority of this government, and the government is doing very, very well in that area. In terms of health, the governor just commissioned 3 brand new first-class state-of-the-art general hospitals in the state. They don't have its type anywhere in this state before, and they are well equipped and running efficiently now. The tertiary institution, tertiary education, the Imo State University, before the government came, almost all their courses were accredited. They have all been reaccredited now. The Imo State University Teaching Hospital, which lost accreditation for over 10 years, is back. It's been graduating doctors. This is about, I think, 3 sets now. In terms of workers' welfare, the government has paid workers regularly, promptly, as and when due, even has also paid them 13%, 13th month salary, which has never happened in this state before, where workers go to work with free transport provided by the government to and fro. And there are so many things that, like I said, if I begin to enumerate them, there are quite a lot. But the most important thing is that the government has restored the confidence of the people in governance through inclusiveness, through stakeholders' meetings, through stakeholders' outings. The people are involved in the running of the government, and they are happy because hitherto they were almost like strangers in their own state and in their own government. Today, people have a say. People have contributions to make on how the government should be run, and I think that is very pleasing to the people. So, by all accounts possible, this governor, distinguished Senator Uzodimma, deserves a second tenure by the record of his achievements so far in office.
But let's focus on infrastructure development. What plans do you have to raise the bar in the state?
Plans on what, please?
To raise the bar in the state, talking about infrastructure development. What plans do you have to raise the bar in the state?
Well, if you talk of infrastructure development, I've told you, I just mentioned road infrastructure. And I must also add that when you're talking of infrastructure, you ask anybody, they will tell you that most of the moribund industries that were abandoned have been reactivated. And the governor has a program that will really revolutionize the total infrastructure base and the economy of the state. And that is through the rash dredging, which is a very novel project, which will really harness the economic potentials of the state through the dredging of the rash to the Atlantic Ocean, and with the potentials and high possibility of a river port in Uguta. Now, that will really set a record in terms of infrastructural provision, because that dredging has a lot of potentials of having a lot of industries that will be set along that side, because the thing also has a free gas zone that a lot of companies that deal on natural gas and so on will invest and have their companies there. So by the time this governor has a second tenure, I can tell you that when you come to Imo State after 2 years, you will really know that he has done something that no other person has been able to do before him.
All right. So on Saturday, the APC will contend with strong opponents in the PDP and the Labour Party. We have Senator Samba Ayamu of the PDP and Senator Athan Achonu of the Labour Party. How confident are you about your party's chances?
So how confident am I about what?
About your party's chances.
Well, I've already told you, if you are talking about the Labour Party and the PDP, my dear sister, if you come to Imo State, if you ask anybody, they will tell you that many people are not even aware that these people are contesting elections. These other parties you are talking about. Because it's not a question of making noise in the social media. If it were possible for you to come and do opinion poll in Imo State now, you find that more than 70% of the electorate will tell you that they will vote APC. There is every reason for them to vote APC because, like I said, the governor has done something that no government before it has been able to do. And the people who are challenging him have not been able to, as we speak, they have not been able to come up with any manifesto or any program to suggest that this is what they will do or this is how they are going to do it. So the people are really wondering if they are really in the race because they are not telling them that this is our program and this is how we are going to achieve it. So it is only the governor who has come out openly to outline his program for the future, for the next 4 years, and the record of his achievements so far back up that vision for the next 4 years. So I think the people are not fools. They know that this man is sincere, and above all, and I think this is very important, this is a governor that has never had any form of scandal, financial scandal. Nobody can say that he has eaten Imo people's 1 kobo. Nobody can say that he's acquired anybody's estate. And this man has shown transparency. He has shown accountability to the point that an arm of the United Nations, the World Bank, recognized him and even gave him cash rewards for running a transparent and accountable government through very transparent budgetary regime. So in every aspect of governance, in every aspect of government that you can use to judge performance, judge sincerity, judge dedication to the people, judge determination to make a difference and to make life better for the people, this governor has done and excelled in virtually all of them.
All right, so Mr. Declan, I find this very interesting because Senator Anthony was here about a week ago and he said this same thing you're saying. In his words, APC, nobody knows APC in Imo State. There is nothing for APC in Imo State. And you're also here today saying that nobody in Imo State knows PDP and Labour Party. Are these mere political talks?
No, they cannot. No, there's a very, very empirical way of measuring these things. Now, if you come to Imo State, when you look at the political environment in a state or in a society, you look at the political gladiators. In Imo State, I can tell you that more than 80% of the political gladiators in Imo State belong to APC. And this is through the accommodating spirit of the governor, who had opened the doors of APC for everybody to come in. And it has this inclusive policy that has allowed virtually every person that is who in Imo State to come and join him in APC. So now when you look at this, you ask yourself, who are the other people in the other party? Because politics is about people. And when virtually all the leaders are in one camp, you don't need anybody to tell you that that is where it is happening. There's this thing they say about if you go to a restaurant, if you see 2 restaurants and you are new in the place and you want to eat, if you see the one where people are rushing in and out, go there because that's where the food is good. But if you see the one that is just clean with clean furniture and nobody is there, well, don't go because definitely the food is not there. When you come to Imo State, come to APC Secretariat, come and see the kind of support groups that are pouring in and out of government house to endorse the governor. You don't need to be told where the people are, including market women, including road transport workers. Everybody. So it's not a matter of claiming. It's a question of what is verifiable. And I can tell you that if you take time to come to Imo State and go around, do a sample opinion of where the people are, you will see definitely that more than 70% of the people, we mention APC and Governor Rochas Okorocha. Many of them might not even remember the names of these people they are mentioning as those who contesting for governorship on Saturday. And that is a statement of fact.
All right. Let's get to something more serious. Opposition parties are accusing the government of intimidation ahead of the election. How will you react to that?
They're accusing the government of what?
Of intimidation ahead of this Saturday's election. How will you react to that?
I didn't get that. They're accusing the government of...
Opposition parties are accusing the government of intimidation ahead of Saturday's election. I want you to react to that.
I didn't really get that. I'm sorry.
Of intimidation. Now, for instance, Senator Achonu is saying that political thugs belonging to the APC are responsible for the attack on his convoy on his way to St. Peter's Anglican Church. So I'm saying opposition parties are accusing the government of intimidation. How will you react to that?
Well, like they say, by their fruits you know them. If you watch the governor, distinguished Senator Hope Uzodinma, in all his campaigns, in all his public outings, he has never used any abusive word on anybody. He has always been very decorous in his campaigns, and he has been very civil. But the person you mentioned, I watched the video. He was short of calling Imo people to arms, telling they should come and defend themselves, that the police cannot defend them again. And at every moment, he is threatening if there's a collation of election at the world level, heaven and earth will fall. Every moment, he is threatening fire and brimstone. He's the person that his language, his body language, and his language actually is full of violence. And that really defines who he is. So you cannot give what you don't have. This governor has shown that he's a peaceful man. So he cannot in any way give violence when it doesn't is not in him. The incident you were talking of, from what we found out, the man went there, and they told him that the police told him that he didn't tell them that he was coming, that the governor said he was going to be there, and that's why they came to provide security. If he had told them, they would also have provided security and would have been able to know how to manage the situation. And moreover, that before that time, some people came and were removing the posters of the governor. And the APC members were already there. And the way he was moving now, that it is not unlikely that if he enters there, maybe there could be some violence. And that's what they were trying to avoid. And he started raining fire and brimstone on the people, telling the police officer, will remove you within 48 hours, and so many other things that are unprintable. I think that if you look very carefully, that is where violence is likely to come from, and not the man who has never, for once, preached violence or spoken in a language that shows that he likes to toe the line of violence. So, but I know that the security agents are equal to the tax, and on the day of election, they will be able to contain any person who wants to disrupt the elections by way of violence or any other means.
All right. So, Mr. Declan, are you confirming that in no way is the APC government intimidating its opponents?
It is not possible, because if you also check the records, there's no record that they had gone to any campaign and they were stopped or they were not allowed to move freely. They have been campaigning freely around the state, and I don't know how else the governor can demonstrate that he is a Democrat. He allows them to go and campaign, and they even go and fabricate all manner of lies against him and propaganda and so many things. And he keeps calm. He keeps going about selling his vision to the people and outlining what he has done and what he will do more. But these people go and keep attacking him, trying to fabricate one thing or the other. He has never, not one, has he replied. So he cannot be intimidating them. If he's intimidating them, there would have been evidence that maybe they went on campaign and something happened or this or that. So there is no such evidence. This government is not the type that will intimidate anybody, because the governor believes that this will be settled in the field, and it is going to be determined by the votes of the people. And if you are talking of the votes of Imo people, he's very confident that he will have their votes. So why will he intimidate anybody when he is sure that Imo people are behind him? It doesn't make sense. It is only somebody who suspects the feed looming that wants to scatter the polity, that wants to heat up the polity and cause confusion. If you are sure of victory, you will be preaching peace and free and fair elections, which is what the governor has been doing in all his political outings. And I can tell you to go and cross-check. You'll be satisfied that that is the position.
All right. So all eyes will be on INEC to conduct credible election on Saturday. How will you describe preparations by the electoral umpire?
How will I describe the word?
Preparations by INEC ahead of Saturday's election.
Preparations. Well, because I don't work in INEC, I would not speak for them. But from what they have said so far, I believe that they are prepared for the elections. They have given us assurances that they are prepared, and the evidence on ground also confirms that they are prepared. I think that because this is also an off-cycle election, I think that INEC has what it takes to conduct a free, fair, and credible election. So I think that they are prepared, and I believe that they are going to do justice to the election on Saturday.
All right. To add to that, INEC has promised to upload results on IREF this time. How will you react to that as well?
Whatever INEC has to do to make the election free and fair, what we are saying is let the election be free and fair, because we know that once the election is free and fair, victory is ours. Whatever method they will use to ensure that the election is free, fair, and credible, we are all for it. We are not going to say this or that. Anything that will help to make the election free, fair, and credible, the governor is for it, and APC is for it.
Mr. Declan, INEC and other political watchers have described this governorship election as crucial. To what extent do you agree with this?
That the governorship election is crucial?
Absolutely. To what extent do you agree with this?
Every election is important. Every election is crucial. I'm also a governorship election. But I don't think that there is something crucial about this outside the normal circumstances surrounding every election. Even the election of a councillor is crucial to the people who are electing the councillor. So every election that people have to decide who will represent them in government is crucial. And this is not an exception. And I believe that it's important to the people, it is important to INEC, it is important to the contestants. So to that extent, it's important and crucial election.
So let's get back to Imo State. Candidates have signed a peace accord, but the governor was not present at the signing. Why?
Candidates did what? Signed?
Candidates in Imo State signed a peace accord, but the governor was not there. Why? Why was he not there?
Well, I remember there was a radio phoning program, and the governor was asked that question, and he said he was not aware, no, he wasn't informed, and I believe him. However, I went to tell you that this same governor we are talking about, a year or two before that, a year before that particular program, got almost all the bishops, at least the very, very important bishops in Imo State together in Government House. And they met, and that was at the height of insecurity in the state. And they met, and they agreed to summon or invite, let me not use the word summon, invite all the political gladiators to a meeting in Assumpta, where these bishops will sit down and find out from them what the problem was and try to broker peace. It will interest you to know that it was only this governor that was present. No other person came. So if there is somebody who has always championed peace, it is this governor, distinguished Senator Hope Uzodimma. So I don't see how he will see an opportunity to further deepen peace or advance the cause of peace in the state, and he will not be there. So I believe him that he was not aware. Otherwise, he would have been there, because this is what he has been championing even before the election. And if that meeting, if other people had come, maybe there would have been an understanding and an agreement that would have restored peace and confidence among the political gladiators, and we wouldn't have even needed to sign this peace accord just for the purposes of the election. So that would have been a more enduring peace. And the person who championed it was this governor. So he's an apostle of peace. And the fact that he was not there does not mean that he doesn't want peace. No, it's not true. It's because he probably was not well informed about that meeting.
But then, now that has happened, how confident are you that there will be no violence on election day?
My dear, I want to tell you that, first of all, let me also say that the security agencies have assured that they are ready for this election. And they have actually even started deploying security operatives to many of the local governments. And I believe that the number of security agencies that will be on hand to supervise this election will be enough to contain any troublemaker. What is important is that anybody who goes to the polls to cast his vote and go home, of course, will be protected by the security agencies. But I believe that if anybody wants to perpetrate violence in any form, the security agencies have what it takes to be able to contain them. So I am very confident that the election will be free and peaceful. I am very confident based on the level of preparedness the security agencies have assured us that they have done for the elections.
But considering the peculiarity of Imo State when it comes to insecurity, I mean, the governor said severally that insecurity remains the biggest burden of his administration. How is this being tackled to ensure safety on election day?
Well, I want to believe that I got the question. He said insecurity remains the major challenge in Imo State. Yeah, if that's the question, I can also tell you that that insecurity has been drastically reduced, brought to the very manageable minimum. And today, anybody who lives in Imo State will tell you that Imo is not as unsafe as it was, say, 2 years ago. You know, you are a journalist, and I am one. I remember that editors had their conference in Imo State twice within 1 year. And we're talking of over 300 people who were hosted by this state for about 3 to 4 days, 2 times in a row in a year. And throughout that period, there was no breach of any form. There was no breach of peace. And I'm using that them as an example because that is where both of us belong, at least the professional career where we belong. Other high-profile organizations have also held conferences in Imo, and nothing happened. So the security situation has definitely been brought down. But beyond that, what is important is that the threat to security that we witnessed 2 years ago, like I said, has come down. So I don't think that anybody should break his or her head over the security situation on election day or something like that. I think that is not going to be an issue at all.
All right. How do you react to the redeployment of the Imo Police Commissioner after a public outcry?
The redeployment of the Commissioner of Police?
Absolutely.
I hope I got you right. The deployment of the Commissioner of Police, if that's your question, there is, as long as the Commissioner of Police is coming from the police command, I can tell you that His Excellency will be ready to work with any Commissioner of Police. There is no Commissioner of Police that we recruited. There is no Commissioner of Police that belongs to Imo State government. As long as it is a Commissioner of Police coming from the police command, because they are trained to enforce the law. And what we want is for the law to be, for peace to be maintained. So any Commissioner of Police they send to Imo State, I can assure you that the government will be ready to work with that Commissioner of Police.
So there is also this talk about Charter of Equity. What's your take on it?
You know, this thing is so faint. I'm not quite, I didn't get the last one, he said.
Mr. Declan, there is this talk about Charter of Equity. I want to have your take on it.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, the Charter of Equity is a very interesting document. It's a document that talks about the need for all parts of the state to have a sense of equity, to have a sense of belonging in terms of the governorship seat of the state. And the arrangement is that because we have 3 major zones in the state, that the thing should move from one zone or the other. And by the way, that thing originated from the clergy, who now sold it to the Council of Elders in the state, and they prepared a document and then sold it to the governor, and the governor bought into it. And the Charter of Equity is very simple. It says that looking at the governorship race in Imo State and the history, history has shown that if you leave it open for everybody to struggle, it leads to a lot of acrimony, it leads to a lot of tension, it leads to a lot of expenditure, avoidable expenditure. And at the end of the day, it is a matter of the strongest gets it, and winner takes all or something like that. So it becomes like survival of the fittest. And that if this continues, it will not help the polity, it will not help the peace of the state. So the elders said, okay, let us now agree on a charter that says the team will move from one zone to the other. And they said, looking at the achievements of the incumbent governor and knowing that he is constitutionally entitled to a second tenure, but more importantly, looking at his achievements, that they will support him to go for a second tenure, after which the team will move from Olu zone, where he comes from, to another zone. And then that zone, when they complete 8 years, it will move to another zone. So the general consensus is, let the governor complete his second tenure, then it moves to another zone. So what it means is that the moment he completes his second tenure, automatically, Olu zone will know that they cannot have the governorship again. So in the next election, 2027, the race will be between the other zones that are not from Olu zone. So that is the beauty of Charter of Equity. It is an arrangement that guarantees peace, that guarantees equity, that guarantees justice to all the zones. And that is an arrangement that ensures that all the zones will have the opportunity to produce the governor of the state. I think the people are happy with it. The people believe that it is a reasonable charter, is a reasonable policy and a reasonable program, and they are buying into it, you know, generally speaking.
I would have loved to have your message to the people ahead of Saturday, but sadly we're out of time. Thank you so much. I've been speaking with the Commissioner for Information and Strategy in Imo State, Declan Emelumba, as we get familiar with happenings in Imo State and APC's chances ahead of Saturday's governorship election. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Let the people come out on Saturday and vote for the performing governor. Thank you so much.